Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, all that talk in the last video about how they try to make you insane on purpose, be it family, friend, coworker, partner, and they try to make you insane on purpose in front of other people, got me to thinking about, and I know you know what I mean, it's nearly impossible to swallow the bitter pill that is when a fellow family member doesn't believe you about a family member. So I wanted to go into that for 1 second, because if you're being played by a narcissist within your own family, we spoke last video about our public overdue reactions. The family member narcissist will use that tactic ongoingly to get people on their side, right? Yes, of course they will. You think of if you have a narcissistic sibling, okay? There's a couple of things that are going to be at work too that you're going to have to battle with. The parent refuses to see, first of all, what one child is trying to say about the other, right? Whether you have a narcissistic parent as well or not, they're not going to, because that could be, you could have a narcissistic sibling, you could have a narcissistic parent, you could have both, but whether or not the parent is, they will not as readily see what the one sibling is trying to say about the other. They brush it off as kids being kids. I've heard of this so much. They'll like each other eventually. It'll be okay. So, I'm sorry, they did what to you? Okay. Kiss and make up. Go play a game. Go to your rooms. That's how it's handled. An average parent is not going to understand what might actually be happening to the child that's trying to tell them something. That it's much more severe. That there was actual cruelty involved. That there was manipulation involved. The parent is just thinking kids are fighting. And that's how life goes on for a narcissistic sibling, for the person that has a narcissistic sibling. And then you have to think about the thing that, the child the one that's trying to explain to the parent, they're pulling their hair out of their head and they're not okay. The parent is thinking, oh, it'll be okay. They'll be fine. No, and the child's not okay. They're never okay. It's a very disheartening place to sit in, a spot where no one believes what you're saying and therefore doesn't understand anything how you're coming at them with the tales and the news that you're trying to make them understand. To make them understand that you're not just nuts. That's how I got led here. Because they see that side of you and you're trying to explain to them, this is why I get this way. They're not going to see. The other thing is, if it's a sibling, you got to remember your parent, again, narcissist or not, that's another topic we'll get to in 20 seconds. That's their child. Now, I only have one. I have one daughter. But that's their child. Apparently, you can love them all. You know what I mean? I'm making a joke because a parent of one, that's what you think. I could, how could I love a second? They love them all. That's their child. So you as a child are trying to say something to your parent. They, the parent, don't understand why you and your sibling don't have unconditional love like they have for you. Then you're trying to explain to your parent how, and if the parent's an only child, they have no idea. So they've idealized sibling love to be the same unconditional love that a parent can have to a child. So now it's your job as the child, you're trying to explain to your parent, it's not the same, they're being mean, and when you are a parent, you realize it truly is an unconditional love. Your kid could do anything to you. So to get back to that, this is their child, this sibling that you have, that you're experiencing this with. So it's a very tricky thing. I understand completely exactly the position that you're in, but it is a challenge to make people understand, to make people realize that you're not going crazy and that there was more to the story, It is 100% understandable that you would want to do that. But the resistance you feel is very, very real because that is their child. And they cannot possibly be expected to fathom the level of dysfunction that is coming their way with this person, because it starts when you're little. So that person, that sibling, is learning from their parent they can behave any way they want in life and it's fine. Nothing happens. That's an overindulged child, right? I'm not saying that that child doesn't get in trouble. They might get in trouble. It might not stick. They might get in trouble for something that it has to be really, really bad for them to get in trouble. Whereas you, as the sibling that's not a narcissist, will get in trouble for the slightest little thing because they expect more from you. They'll use that chestnut. I don't want you to expect. I want to be treated the same then. Thanks. I want to be treated the same. I only want to get in trouble if I get that bad. There's an imbalance with parents and their children. And the narcissist child grows up to be a narcissist adult. And with it, that takes decades of problems for the child that is not okay. For the child that was trying to tell the parents about what was going on, and they just thought you were overreacting and you were a dramatic child. She's sensitive. She's emotional. Everything, the siblings do bothers her. It can go all these different kinds of ways. Then think about it. If there are narcissist parents, again, a sibling can be a narcissist or not. But I think of a narcissist parent and they play off multiple children. Of course they do. Of course they do. And that one adult child may see the narcissist side of the parent, but the other adult children don't spend enough time to notice. And that child, adult children I'm talking about now, is trying to relay the information to their siblings, and there's nothing, no understanding. It's brushed over, just like it's brushed over in the child case with the disciplining and the kids fighting. It's brushed over. They say, well, they're aging, or that's just them, you know how they are, or I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. So you're left, many times it is one adult child, they're left holding the bag of broken emotional experiences because they're with the narcissist parent the most, and they get to see the real them, right? The other siblings might only see, I call it like, it's like vacation version of people. It's like when you have siblings that only see your parents for a very limited time because they live away and you live right in your own backyard and you're taking care of so much, seeing so much more. That's not fair because they're getting the vacation version of the parent. And you're seeing a lot that they don't see. And they're never going to see like we talk about. It's impossible to explain narcissistic behavior to someone unless they've had it done to them. Just like with a partner, same with a parent. So you're trying to explain to your other siblings who may not even catch this side of your parent. So you're trying to explain to them who know vacation version, what happened, what they said, how they said it, and you're getting a resistance. And that sibling also has seen you blow up at that parent because that parent has caused you to do that. Right? So the narcissistic parent has evidence on their side that they've been gaining to show your siblings how crazy you can get. It's you. I have to walk on eggshells with that one, but not with you. They'll talk badly to each sibling about the other one. Oh, of course they will. There's not like a unification effort, I've noticed, with narcissistic parents. You know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to make it be one team. They want people off in corners, and they always want to make sure they have a comrade, and they set things up to be a mess. Pardon me, to be a mess. And that bag of broken emotional experiences that you are left holding when you're the adult child that has the repeated experience, be it with a sibling your whole life, a parent your whole life, or both. That, coupled with the fact that no one believes you, and coupled with the fact that it's family, it's your family. So you have to deal with this. You have to learn to go through and navigate these waters, and they are ugly. And there's always a wedding or a funeral or a holiday where issues can rear their ugly heads. And it is a heart-wrenching realization when your family doesn't believe you. And that's, of course, to get back to the original point, if you're being played by a narcissist within the family, because nobody else can see your point. Now, if you're lucky, there may be someone that you can turn to within the circle who has seen certain sides of this person, and they can empathize with you. And sometimes that's all we need. We just need to feel like somebody else knows. Somebody knows I'm not crazy. I'm not nuts. I didn't overreact for nothing. They did do something. Guess what? They've done 487 things this month. And you're seeing me blow up now because you suddenly are around and you're getting the vacation version of our parent. That's frustrating for a lot of adult children. And I know you know what I mean because I talk to you guys. And I know that you have siblings, and some of you have narcissistic parents. And I know that some of you have narcissistic siblings. And I'm curious to know from you how that works itself out. I bet a lot of this stuff sounds familiar. It's so bloody dysfunctional that, but the frustration level for you, the victim, is what concerns me. Because that can be horrendous. That somebody that's supposed to love you is not believing in something and you know it's true. And then what? So you think I'm nuts then? If you don't believe me, then you believe them. You think I'm nuts. You think I just went off the handle for nothing? You think that didn't happen? You think I'm lying? Do you think I'm making it up? Do you think I'm exaggerating, making too much of it, being too sensitive, heard them the wrong way, didn't take their message the right way, should give them another chance, just apologize and move on, life's too short, why worry? Something like that? Is that what it is? And then the narcissist sibling oftentimes gets from the parent 1 or 3 words. Go easy on her, would you? Go easy on your brother. They just sweep it under the rug like it's no big deal. How often is an adult parent going to get involved with adult children's stuff? They might. They might. But the parent might be afraid of the narcissist's child, even the adult child's reaction to them. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to get cut off by their narcissistic child. Again, the parent can be a narcissist or not. That part doesn't matter. They don't want their child to cut them off. Right? A narcissist is a person that can hold a grudge. They have no empathy. They're not giving any thought at all to what harm they're causing you. So that would include their parent. So a narcissistic child, they don't care if they're hurting their parents' feelings by what they say or don't say, or if they come around, or if they cut them off. So you'll watch the parent tiptoe around that kind of person, if that's their child, because they don't want to rock the boat, right? It's easier to cut your, well, I don't know. It depends on the person that you are, but cutting off a narcissist who's your partner and parent to your children, to me, sounds excruciating. Cutting off a parent who's a narcissist, or cutting off a parent because you're a narcissist, that's some heavy stuff. And don't tell me that a narcissistic adult child doesn't not talk to their parent. I've known some. Oh, I didn't talk to my father for 20 years. What? Who does that? And you might say, I know, we all have, you might have one of these stories, right? He might have had reason. Or maybe he was the narcissist, which is what I think looking back into it, and he couldn't swallow a grudge and didn't spoke with his father the last 20 years of his father's life and didn't talk to him when he died. Now, from what I've gathered, I don't know anything about his father and what kind of father he was. But are you kidding me? Your brothers talked to him. So I oftentimes wonder, that might have been a grudge that was being held by the narcissist. The narcissist is going to stand firm, don't forget, to try to make their point. This is how strong I am. I'm not going to give in at all. This is what I said. I'm going to stand by it, and frig all of you. And if that means they hold a grudge and don't talk to a certain family member, that can go on for years. Of course it can. Of course it can. So I think that when it comes to parents and siblings and believing each other and believing if it's your child or if it is your sibling and you go to another sibling, they might not have seen that side of your sibling. And any other mathematical combination herein. Family not believing you is tough, but it's very tough to make them see it if they don't experience it themselves. That part is the same as narcissism everywhere. It's like you can't make your friends understand this bad side of your narcissist partner because they see him as charming and fun and whatever. Because he's been charming them and swooning them so that he can use them when he's smearing you. They don't see that. It's all connected, my friends. It is all connected. I say just try to stay calm and at some point realize that you may never get your family members to see that side of whatever narcissist is in your family. But what you can do is learn to, like I said before, handle it differently. And now that you're on to them, you've tried to explain it to people, nobody's biting. Next time they go to make you nuts, you can very calmly look at them and say, I don't like the truth of you. I don't like your truth. You don't have to get nasty. You could say, you can live your life the way that you want. I've learned that the person that you are is not someone that I want around me or in my life. And you can exist in the same room and meander about, and you don't have to never see them again. But in other words, they might come back with something and try to get your dander up. But you can just maintain steadfast in that for the rest of your days. If you can't not have this person in your life. And whenever they come at you, you can just maintain that and say, wonderful, and walk away. Like if they come and try to talk to you about something. And if they ever try to talk to you about, well, why can't we just, I've made a decision long ago that any chance I give you, you will crush that into oblivion. And I'm out of chances. My meter is full. My tank is full. I will accept not one more ounce. And the only way to guarantee never having another ounce is to not engage. So I appreciate what you're doing, and the old me would have bitten, but I'm on to you now. And something like that. I'm not even kidding. It's a thing that they do, and it's frustrating, and I'm very sorry if you're going through it. But the last video kind of piqued this in me, so I wanted to go through that. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share. I appreciate you watching.